And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of Detroit Lions training camp. Now we just got one more preseason game to go, roster cuts, maybe some signings and some fillings and some IRs. And then in just over 2 weeks, we will start the season in Lambeau Field. I am super excited. I am kind of bummed that I did not get to see a joint practice, but it is what it is. Everybody that got down there that I got to meet, and if you went down to there today, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Without further ado, let's get into our final observation from Tim 20man. Today is Lions-Texans joint practice observations. This is it, man, the last time. But it's kind of bittersweet because we're going from here to the preseason to the roster cuts. Blink your eye, and we'll be traveling to Lambeau Field. Let's get this thing started. Coming from DetroitLions.com, says game of inches. Lions wide receiver Jameson Williams got behind Texans defenders Derek Stingley Jr. and Kalen Bullock for what looked like a long touchdown catch in the end zone to win a team period for Detroit's offense. It was right in front of the stands filled with Lions fans, but a replay, I didn't even know they did replay at practice of the catch, show Williams' toe touched the line trying to get his second foot in bounds. It was still good to see that deep connection between Williams and quarterback Jared Goff really ramp up over the past week. And I did see Aaron Wilson. Aaron Wilson had made a tweet and said that basically Jameson Williams is going to be a legitimate deep threat. And you know what? I got to say something about Jameson Williams too. It was great. You know what we finally had this year? No off the field stuff. Nothing off the field negative was said. So this is a big year for Jameson Williams. Proud of the young man. Seems like he's learned from his mistakes and has come into his own in what will probably be a contract year for him, if we're being honest. So it's good. I cannot wait to see how creative that John Morton is going to use him. I think it's going to be, I think he was held back last year by Benedict the Snake Johnson. By the way, a new Metal Gear Solid Delta, aka Metal Gear Solid 3. If you played that from the mid 2000s, it's coming out in about a couple of days. So anyway, sidetracked here, but I think that Benedict the Snake Johnson was actually holding him back. And I think we're going to see Jameson Williams have a big year. Good news for the Detroit Lions. Bad news for Brad Holmes and whoever has to pay him, also being the Detroit Lions. So, but what about situational football? Says the Lions offense had the ball at their own 39-yard line, trailing 20-23 with 1 minute and 4 seconds on the clock with 2 timeouts. I love these scenarios. Goff made incompletions to wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, 2, wide receiver Khalif Raymond, and tight end Sam Laporta to get the Lions down to the Houston 18-yard line with 14 seconds left. A couple incompletions from there led to a 35-yard Jake Bates field goal to tie the game and win the period for Detroit's offense. Very reminiscent to what happened last year, right? Situational football number 2. Detroit's defense was given the same scenario with a 3-point lead and a little more than a minute on the clock. They did a nice job limiting Houston's offense to some dink and dunk plays, and a 56-yard field goal try from Fairbairn just got over the crossbar. So that means that they would have been tied up heading to overtime. Now, don't forget, Fairbairn missed the kick egregiously, the one that would have put the Houston Texans ahead in that game. So it was good. I know it was probably trauma. Like Jake Bates, it was crazy, man. I would have loved to have been there to see that. But it seems that the Detroit Lions offense, we haven't really heard a ton about them as far as regressing. It was rough the first couple of days of training camp and maybe into that second week, but we're 3 weeks in now, and it seems like that they're doing great, starting to click, and I am happy to see that. Now, here's something I wanted to bring in that I think this guy is falling under the radar in some cases. I think in some of y'all opinions, he's been pushed all the way down to wide receiver number 5, and that is Khalif Raymond. But Tim Patrick says third wide receiver. Says we sometimes forget Raymond has caught 147 passes for 1,896 yards and 7 touchdowns over the last 4 seasons for the Lions. Houston certainly noticed him Thursday. Raymond had a really nice practice with a couple touchdown catches from Goff in team periods, including one in the back of the end zone on a great route to give Goff a little space to make the completion. I'm going to tell you what, Khalif Raymond looks really, really good. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the fact that the Lions, he's kind of fresh because the Lions really haven't used him. You know, he got like dinged up. And then last year, I remember very specifically, it was like the beginning of the year. Raymond was like, it was kickoff return, kickoff return, kickoff return. And we were used to seeing him in the offense. And I think he said something to Dan Campbell. I think some report came out that he wanted to be more involved, and then it got him more involved. But he still relatively was fresh, and he looks good in camp. Fluid, smooth, in shape. He looks healthy. And I think I said that he would probably be the odd man out only because of who we drafted and the fact that the Lions typically don't keep 6 wide receivers, let alone 7. But, it's good to see Khalif. But when I saw him in camp, I was like, oh, no, there's no way he gets cut, even though he's on the last year of his deal, but because he is making his presence known for sure. But there is a problem with securing the ball from a very certain player. We're going to talk about him now, and that's Grant Stewart. Says kickoff fumble. Ball security is huge for this coaching staff, especially on special teams. The Lions have tried linebacker Grant Stewart out as a kick returner because they like his size, speed, and ability there. They've been teaching him the ball security part as they go. He fumbled the first kickoff return he had in the Hall of Fame game. That was the first touch of the game, by the way, which was crazy. A few weeks back. Thursday, he fumbled another kickoff that was recovered by the Texans. You know what's crazy is that Grant will fumble and then cause a fumble on the other side of the football. So I don't think that I don't know, man. Would I put him returning kicks? No, I would not do it. That's probably going to be what Khalif Raymond or one of these other the seventh round pick or undrafted free agent makes the team. I would not put him there. No, because in games is going to be too tough. So I would not do that. But Grant is like, he'll fumble and then cause a fumble on the other side of the ball. So it was cool, but he can't hold that thing. And that's going to be critical during the season. So unless he takes a huge step after this last preseason game, I hope he does not get a chance to fumble in a regular season game. But the Detroit Lions are going to have to make a decision. We're going to have to decide if we're going to keep 6 wide receivers or 7. Last year, if my memory serves me correctly, we went into the season with 4, I believe it was. I think it was Jameson Williams, St. Brown, Tim Patrick, and Khalif Raymond. I think it was. It could have been, I think it was because I was shocked that it was 4. And then we brought Tim Patrick in a little later. But the Detroit Lions are going to have probably the toughest cuts that they've made in the 4, now 5 preseasons that they've had. And because we got some talent on our team, and Dan Campbell said in today's press conference it was going to be difficult, but that's just how it goes. But they're going to have to make a decision what they do at wide receiver because these young guys are showing out. Rookie wide receiver. The Lions likely have some tough decisions to make when it comes to formulating their receiver room to start the season. They could potentially be a scenario where they keep 7 receivers. That would be something. I wouldn't be surprised because these last 2 guys are really, really good, but we'll see. Rookie 7th round pick, Dominic Lovett, is among those names who will be discussed. And Lovett had a nice practice Thursday. He made a couple big plays in the passing game. One big catch and run in the team period drew a high five from assistant head coach, receivers coach Scotty Montgomery. Lovett also had a nice kickoff return and a special teams period. That's how you make your place on the team. He's someone to watch closely Saturday during Detroit's final preseason contest. And I am saying that right now, and I think we talked about this in the live show, that right now, heading into the last game, I got to give the leg up to Jackson Meeks, which is a surprise because don't forget, well, you know what? It's actually not a surprise because in the past couple of seasons, it seems like there's been a wide receiver that has been drafted. That wide receiver was Antoine Green. He was a 7th round pick. But in that time, we've had Chase Cota, UDFA. We had Dylan Drummond, UDFA. We had last year was Caden Davis, UDFA. And this year we have Jackson Meeks, the nephew of Zadarius Smith. And up until right now, and some of it has been due to injury, Meeks has outperformed. If the Lions were keeping 6, I would have to give it to Meeks. If they go 7, both of them. It is very likely that both of them will be on the team in some capacity, whether it's part of the 53 or part of the 16-man practice squad. So I think we will both see them. The thing about the practice squad is you have the people have the ability to come get them, right? So I think the Lions keep 3 receivers on their practice squad if they don't go with 7 on the active roster, and that's going to be probably, if they go with 6, it'll be one of the 2, and then they'll have either, if they go with 5, it'll be Meeks, Lovett, and old reliable Tom Kennedy. You know what? Just once, I would love to see Tom Kennedy make a team. Now, there was a bit of some bad news, and that is Graham Glasgow left practice to be evaluated for a lower leg injury. I don't know the severity of it right now. And another name that I've been talking about, I hope he's okay. Running back Sione Vaki left practice with an undisclosed injury. And I said this a few videos ago. If I know this guy was drafted. I know we traded up to draft him, right? I know that he is a Swiss Army knife. He caused a fumble, but running the football, and I know he's great on special teams. That's when you'll make your money with the Detroit Lions. If there's any doubt, then and you good on special teams, you make your money there. But RB4, I don't know if he's earned that. I don't. So if Jacob Sailors balls out on Saturday, right? Can we really give it to Vaki? I'm not saying Vaki doesn't make the team, but we can't give him RB4 if he's not doing RB4. I mean, here it is that he missed the first game or 2 due to injury. He left here with an injury. Sailors, been balling, but there's a room on the practice squad for Sailors if Vaki is the one to make the team. I do think it's going to be Vaki because the Lions value anytime they draft somebody. I don't think that there's a player that was drafted that was cut in favor of another player, of an undrafted player. If you know one, put it in the comment section below. In addition to that, I don't think, I was having this conversation the other day during the live stream, out of all the draft picks that Brad has had, I believe there's only been 3 that didn't make the team. And I don't know if you guys answered this question before, but those 3 were James Houston, it was Chase Lucas, and Jamar Jefferson. Somebody said Antoine Green as well, and you could be right. He might have been waived and then put on a practice squad or something like that. So in all of Brad and Dan's picks, it's only been 3 to 4 that I can remember. Let me know if that's incorrect in the comment section below. But we'll see. We will be live for the game on Saturday. We will also be live streaming when the roster cuts happen at 4 on Tuesday. I think it's 4 that everything has to be in. So we'll probably go live about 3:30, 3:45. The Lions are slow though, so we'll probably get that information while we're on. That's the plan. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You can be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. So after Saturday, I will not be live streaming a game again if everything goes well until week 2, which is when we play the Chicago Bears. I do plan to go to Green Bay if the weather holds up. I just cannot do rain. I'm willing to do rain for one game, and that's Kansas City. I cannot miss Arrowhead. I got to be there no matter what. So, but every other game that's outside, if it's raining, I'm probably not going to go. Raining or super cold, I can't do it. So if weather holds up, then I will be heading to Green Bay. If it doesn't, then I will be live streaming the opening game of the season. All right, you guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. And thank you for allowing me to do what I do. I really do appreciate it.